Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Got Lynette in here. I think it's just going to be a slow morning. I kind of feel it in my bones. We're right on the cusp, I think, of ending summer and going into fall. So when we wake up in the morning, the air is crisp. There's a little bit of dew on everything. And I think it's just kind of got several of us just feeling a little bit overly relaxed. I know that's how I'm feeling. I've been feeling it coming on for a while now. How is everybody doing this morning? We've got Lynette here. Um, so I've got one little story to share with you today. I've got a few things to go over, but I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but I'm glad you're here. We'll kind of hope. Oh gosh, I went from like having 4 people down to one. Everybody just went away. Oh well, it'll pick back up, but it's not going to stop me. I'm just going to just keep on doing what I'm doing. I love having these lives on Wednesday morning because I'll tell you what, it forces me to get up, curl my hair, throw on a little makeup because I know I can't show up looking disheveled. I have been busy, Lynette. I've been really busy. And I know I speak not only for myself, but several people. Now there's nobody in here, it says. There have been several people who have been canning and gardening and taking care of their homesteads that have mentioned, and making videos for YouTube, that have mentioned that they just kind of have hit this wall and they're tired. And I know that's how I'm feeling. I'm tired. But I still have so much to do. And I am my own worst enemy, let me tell you. I am my own worst enemy because I start a craft and then I don't finish that craft before I pick up another craft or task to do or some project. Been that way my whole life. And for those of you who are tuning in, Chrissy over at Along the River Homestead, she was selected as the winner of selecting our barn quilt pattern. And I was so gung-ho on that when it started. Good morning, Denise. Good morning. I was so gung-ho when that pattern started. I gave myself 2 months to complete it. I thought, oh, I'll have it done before 2 months. Well, we're coming up on 2 months. Well, okay, so we've surpassed 2 months. And it's still only about 60% done. But we had so much rain come through. Day after day, rain. And so I didn't get a chance to get out there. And then that skunk moved out there into the corn crib. And so I was a little intimidated to go out there by myself for fear of falling off of the ladder and then being held hostage by a, skunk butt. And then now I've got parts where I can't reach and I need my husband's assistance. And the last couple of weekends, he's just kind of felt punky. So, hi, Boots and Bounty. Good morning. Casey, how are you, love? I got some info for you. Hello, Scott, rumbling with the brooms. I knew it would just take a little while for everybody to come in. But anyways, for the barn quilt, I need my husband's help, and I need those upper ones, and I really want to finish it for September because since it has teal in it, I want to call a local reporter and have him come out and take a picture of it and talk about ovarian cancer awareness. So I need to get on that, but I'm not going to be doing that today. Maybe I'll hit it again tomorrow. But I've got that project, and then let me grab something. I don't think Chrissy with Along the River Homestead is in here. Is she? Not yet. You're tired too, Denise? I know you can't look at zucchini anymore. I'm click on it. I'm to the point now where I go out to the garden, and if I see a cucumber, I just pick it and throw it over to the chickens, and they all just run around and chase it. I don't even want to think about making any more pickles or relish. So I'm just kind of tired. And something that happens to me too is every change of seasons, like usually when we go from winter to spring, I'll kind of get this asthmatic bronchitis. And now coming into fall, I can feel it starting. And part of the problem is I attended Yogi Hollow's live 2 weeks ago, and we were laughing so much. I laughed myself into hysteria and had to use my inhaler. And when I do that, then I know I'm susceptible to kind of coming down with a little bit of bronchitis. Hello, Jen and Wiley. So I'm kind of battling that, and it's just making me tired. But anyways, back to the barn quilt. I didn't start on the prize for the winner of the selected pattern because I wanted to do the pattern and kind of have it come to life every time I posted about it, so you guys would see how the pattern would start looking. And I know everybody's kind of catching on to how it's going to look. It's going to be beautiful. But I was at the store the other day, and I mean, I have these. You've seen these up in my kitchen, but this one's thinner. It's going to be a little easier. But I picked this up the other day, and this is going to be for Chrissy. This is what I'm going to paint the barn quilt on, and I will be sending this to her. So I think I'm going to try to start that this week on days that I just don't feel like actually going outside and working. Maybe I can start working on this so I can get this to her. I want to be a woman of my word. I don't want her to think, gosh, I won that contest and she never sent me anything. So I'm going to start working on that too. But in addition to taking on that new project, I've started another new project because I saw something the other day. I'm not going to say what it was, but I saw something the other day and I thought, ooh, I need that. And ooh, I'm going to make that. And then I thought, you know what? I can make it for myself anytime. But for those of you who love to can and have your gardens and all kinds of fun stuff, I'm working on something that I'm going to be doing as a giveaway for my 500. When I reach 500, and I'm almost there, I'm at 460. So when I reach 500, I've just kind of been working on this little project, and I'm going to be giving it away. So you guys stay tuned for that. I'm not going to be, working on it too much while we're talking this morning. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. I like that when you do that. So, I'm just going to, I'm working on something. I'm working on something for my people. And when I get it all done, I will be announcing it as my 500 subscriber giveaway. It's not going to the 500th subscriber. There will be a special post that will go up announcing the giveaway, and then we'll do comments on the giveaway. Whoever comments on that giveaway post will then be eligible to pick up whatever it is I'm putting down. So just keep that in mind. So yes, I am my own worst enemy because I've got so many things going on. I have a list of things I need to do. I know Scott over at Rambling, he wanted the next ladybug to be orange, and I haven't even started her yet. The ladybug and the mandala rock have held up very well in the garden. My garden is winding down to a close, and I'm to the point now where when I see a chicken in the garden, I'm just like, whatever. Go ahead and scratch around for bugs. They've been scratching in the mulch, and they scratch down to the mulch and then down to the weed barrier, and they're just tearing the weed barrier to shreds, little stinkers. But I went out there the other day and I had, 4 chickens, a turkey, and a guinea in my garden. I don't know if they got in there. They just flew over. Oh my gosh. And new ideas always rolling in. You get it. Too many ideas or projects and not enough time. I've got tons of time, Casey. I just don't have the energy these days. I'm just really tired. I've been fighting something off in my body for a couple weeks now. I'm just tired. So I've got the burnout, plus I think I got a little something. So, whatever. Oh, you let the goats out. They'll take care of all that. We had goats. I love goats. I miss my goats. Oh, I loved my goats. And we had 2 bucks born on a very cold morning in December a few years ago. And it was so cold and we were under such blizzard conditions that we just didn't make it down to the barn to band them. So they remained full on bucks. And we don't do their horns or anything. So they have these big horns. They'd be down in the pasture fighting and stuff. Not fighting, but playing. And one of them got stuck in the fence one day and they kind of ripped a big section open in the fence. And everybody's like, hey, we'll just go in and out as we please now. And it didn't matter what we did from then on. They would make an entrance for themselves. And I would be having days that I'd be sitting here doing something or having a cup of coffee. And the goats would just come walking by the window. They would be up on the deck and you could hear the little clip clop of their feet. And they never left the farm, ever. They would always just stay right here. They didn't go out in the road or anything. Yeah, I have garden flu. It's true. And they would always put themselves to bed at night. I never had to worry about them. Well, one day we had a fog roll in. very early in the evening, and they hadn't made it back to the garden yet, or to their pasture. And we didn't know it because it's so foggy out. I mean, you couldn't see 2 or 3 feet in front of you. This fog just rolled in. Hi, Daz. No notifications or anything. Oh, stop it. You know you're welcome. I don't have my phone with me to get the Instagram messages. I don't know why notifications didn't go out, because I set it up last night. Anyways, so we didn't know the goats had not put themselves to bed. And we get this call from our son, who lives a mile away from us, across this big field that gets farmed. And he says, hey, your goats are over here. And I was like, they are? He says, yeah, we need to do something, because they didn't have a place to put them up for shelter. So my husband drove over there in that fog, and they herded the goats back home. So they made it down the first road, and they turned the corner to come towards our home. And I mean, it is thicker than pea soup out there. And you can hear, sounds don't carry well in thick fog, but you could hear in the distance, you could hear them yelling for the goats. It's like, oh Lord, what's happened? Well, when they were coming down towards our farm, there's an old abandoned farm on the other side of the road, maybe a quarter mile down, not quite. And the goats saw the driveway as they were walking, and they bolted onto that farm. And they were in the grove. And my husband was in the grove trying to get them out. I mean, we had kids. They were little kids, and a mama goat, and the bucks, and 2 pygmy goats. They were all out there. And I'm standing on the porch, and I'm shaking a can of feed that I'd put in a mason jar and a tin can to try to get them to hear it and come home. And this is after midnight at night, by the way. And then I stop hearing my husband. I don't hear my husband anymore. There's no goats. So I panic. I get in my car, and I'm driving like, little old lady down the gravel road. And it's so thick, I can't even tell if I'm going to stay on the road or not. And then, bam, right in front of me, my husband's standing in the middle of the road. I almost ran him over. Thank goodness I was only going, 3-4 miles an hour. He says, I can't get the goats. So there was a machine shed there. So he just opened the door to the machine shed so they could go into the machine shed and hopefully avoid being attacked by coyotes, So I went out the next day. I spent all day trying to get those goats home. I could not get them. And this was shortly after chemo, so I was very weak. I couldn't get them. I just couldn't get them. And it became evident after a couple of days that I wasn't getting them home. I couldn't leave them on this other property. I couldn't sit here and worry about them being attacked by coyotes. So I contacted a student from the University of Iowa that was in the vet program, and she actually has 27 acres. And so she came and she took the goats, and we rehomed them. And she promised me that they wouldn't be used for anything for testing at the university. They were just going to go live their lives on her farm. But boy, do I sure miss my goats. They're so fun. I had a little pyramid down in the pasture of the cables from the telephone company or the electric company, those big spools. And I had them built up as a pyramid with ramps, and they would go up there and play and butt each other off. It was hysterical. Good morning, Anne. Who else do we got? I know you guys are just having your little side conversation, and I love that. Bland's got a notification. Okay, so not all is lost. I'm just kind of glad that as I scroll through here, I don't see Daz saying something like, what did the goat sound like? He's not asked me that, so I guess I'm doing good. And no, Daz, I won't be saying what they sound like. So I've already had my coffee this morning, and I just didn't feel like having a second. So I brought my water, but I brought a chilled water because I want to try something new here. I want to know if you guys have tried this. I am trying to really cut down on, I've been loving my lemonade all summer long, but is way too much acid. And my body's been telling me that it's been way too much acid. So I'm really trying to flush the water. And I drink several waters a day. And yes, I have my Berkey filter. And I know somebody is going to get upset that I'm using plastic. But with our well water, I do use the Berkey for our coffee or things we have to do, but if it's just water, like straight water, I'm a little spoiled. I have to have that. You like it today? Thank you. You like my hair and makeup? I'm gonna have to highlight that. Thank you, Monica. Did it just for you guys. Did it just for you guys. Plus, I figured I'm going to do some double duty today. I've had a couple of videos that I've been needing to make, and all week long I've been like, I'm too tired. I don't wanna. But today I've got my hair, got my makeup, put on a nice shirt. I've got a surprise that came in the mail. It's all going to come together during the live. And then when we're done with the live, then I'm going to shoot my videos. And that way, as Monica says, I'm on point. So that's what I'll be doing. Sure, the dog is barking at the kangaroos again. It's always his thing. So anyways, he's always off. Okay. And I don't have a Berkey. I keep picking up my water to do something, then I have to tell you something. I don't have a Berkey. I made my own Berkey. It's a Berkey-inspired water filter, and this is why. We saw a video on Facebook over at Doug and Stacy. They received a Berkey, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to have one. I have to have one. Our water here on the farm from the well, if I make iced tea by the middle of the day, it's tasting sulfurish. No good. I need a good water filter. And we have a water filter in the basement, but it just doesn't cut it. So I saw that and I told my husband, I need a Berkey. So he went online and he went to the Berkey store and he ordered me a beautiful Berkey and he put it in the shopping cart, put in all of his credit card information, completed the sale, and it's like, Berkey's on its way. And then he received a notification, Berkey's not on its way, because we live in one of the 2 states that Berkey cannot ship to. Berkey cannot ship to Iowa and they cannot ship to California. And this is why. California and Iowa require specific testing on their Berkey unit that Berkey has not submitted to. Now, Berkey has submitted to testing that supersedes the request that Iowa and California has. They have this testing, which supersedes this testing, but Iowa and California want this testing. And this testing is very, very expensive, and you have to renew it every so many, like every other year. And Berkey has said, why do we need to do this when we have this? Well, it doesn't matter. We can't get them shipped in. We even contacted Layman's to see if Layman's in Ohio could send us a Berkey. Can't ship it to Iowa. They cannot ship it to Iowa, period. And I was so disheartened. And then I started doing some research and I started watching other homesteaders make their own Berkeys. And I thought, oh my gosh, some of it's so labor intensive. And I was going to do it, but I was going to do it. I bought all of my supplies to make my Berkey. And I was going to go through all of the steps that these homesteaders were showing that you had to do to make your own Berkey. And while hubby was getting all of the tools together to make our Berkey, I thought, I think I can invent a better mousetrap. And I did. And Anne, if you go over into my videos, there's a video showing how I did my own DIY Berkey, and it has worked beautifully for us. The filters remove anything that we have to worry about, but it leaves some important minerals, which is great. We use it for our coffee. We use it for our cooking. Anytime I mix any kind of drinks or anything, I use it. But it saved us probably about $400. The filters we can get on Amazon, but we can't get the Berkey. So I made my own, and I made it for under $50. And I think the Berkey that he had in the cart was like $450. So, thank you, Jenny and Wiley. I had several people say, mail it to us, we'll get it to you. And I thought that's such a wonderful thing. But by the time that had started coming down, the thoughts of how to get my hands on one, I was already in the mode to make my own. And I did, and it's working. It's not as pretty as the Berkeys. It's not this beautiful, polished stainless steel, beautiful design. It's actually just 2 12-quart stock pots, but they work. and they work beautifully. And, you know, it's a farmhouse kitchen. They look good in here. So I appreciate that, though. Yes, can't get one shipped here. Isn't it crazy, some of the things? You know what else I can't get here? I can't get I can't get my CBD stuff anymore for my neuropathy from my chemo. Whatever. I have friends when I was going through my treatment and after treatment, I was having some issues, and I had people say all the time, they'd say, go up to Minnesota and see a doctor, get your prescription. There's a dispensary right on the border. You can just get your oils or whatever, your butter, your edibles, whatever you need, and then you'll have them. And I thought, do you not think the Iowa State Patrol monitors the Iowa license plates that stop at a dispensary on the border? I would pick up my stuff and make it across the border, and then I would be popped for having, an illegal substance. And I'd probably buy myself enough that I would probably get some kind of transportation and distribution charges thrown on top of it. Oh my gosh. Nope, can't get CBD. Yeah, altruistic, go find that video. It's a really great thing. And one thing I really like about it, and I'm happy that I have it now. I got my water open, but I haven't done anything with it yet. Is if we have something really bad happen, as far as if we have something happen where we cannot get quality water or anything, I can go down to the creek. I can get some water from the creek and I can put it through my filter and it will be cleaned up good enough for us to survive on. So, trying to see what else we've got here. Anyways, oh my gosh, I was going to tell you something. Okay, so what I decided to do, because I'm so distracted, is I've got my drinking water. I should cover up who makes it, huh? Let me take poor Daz off here. Yeah, go find that video. I'm going to try, this is a generic brand, but I've been seeing the commercials for that. I think it's called Mio. Has anybody tried it? Comment on the side there if you've tried that little Mio that you put in the water to flavor it. I like the little packets of Crystal Light, the lemonades or the teas. I like those. But I thought, I'm just going to try this. And this one is pineapple mango. Oh, you can't see it because there's a glare. So if you've tried this, let me know. I'm going to try it. They're not, like this company sponsoring me. No, this is not a sponsored thing. But I guess you're supposed to just take it and do a squirt. I don't know. Let's see how it tastes. Pineapple mango water. Let's see what we got here. Mio has, oh gosh, I didn't even read the instructions on this. Now, maybe water, citric acid, sodium citrate. Don't have my readers. I don't know. We're going to give it a try. Mostly I just drink the water. This time I'm going to try a little bit of this. If I go and I fall over, then you guys know to drink it. I love, what I really love, Lynette, is I love when I go into town and I stop and I get a smoothie and I get a mango peach smoothie. So good. Let's give this a try. Just kidding. That's not bad. That's not bad. So this will, just give me a little bit of flavor options for my water because I'm really going to try to get away from some of the other things. It should, don't fall over, Ann says. It should, I've been drinking a lot of water lately. So this is going to help me drink even more and get away. Well, good. I did a good thing by getting the GV brand. So got my water, got my friends in here with me. I've been waxing and lamenting about how I just haven't been feeling all up to it. How many of you are suffering from the garden flu right now? You guys have a light frost, Daz? Spring's almost here, though. Okay, and so Casey uses the strawberry, the packets, like the powder packets, or the strawberry GV, the liquid. Oh, Daz, we missed you while you were gone too. We did. So, oh goodness. So I have the garden flu. Like I said, I've kind of just been letting the chickens take over. I do have my little container garden out front that I took those little plants that I saved that were, 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, and it's a jungle out there. And I have slicers that are about this big, but I'm just waiting for them to blush up. So I'm just waiting for that. But I want to do a couple of surprises that came in the mail this week. I'm so excited about them. And I have one that I know what it is, but I haven't opened it. So when I open it, it's going to be the first time I see it. It's going to be the first time you see it. So I'm going to grab it right now because I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this. I got a pinky purpley envelope that came in the mail. And it's a big one. It's a big one. And I wanted to open it on here because I'm so excited about it. I wanted to share it with you. Denise has the garden flu too. You use the peach mango juice in your kombucha. Awesome. Lance is loving their peppers, but feel that they don't have enough time. I'm telling you. And now my phone's ringing, but I'm going to ignore it. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. I'm so excited. Because I want to know, before I show you guys this, what's your favorite season? I want to know what your favorite season, and I love spring because I've come out of winter and I get to plant a garden, and I love fall, but fall is number one for me. I love fall more than anything. So I saw this pattern, and I saw what my friend Pauletta was doing. You love garden season. And so I saw this, and I want to show you the material first. Oh my gosh, before I show you what it is. Oh, she sent me something extra. Okay, look at this. Okay, there's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt today too. Just for this, let me tell you. Look at this pattern. Isn't that a beautiful pattern? I love sunflowers. I love fall patterns, and I love teal. Teal's my color. Isn't that beautiful? That's just the material. Okay. So excited. You guys know I wear aprons on my videos when I do stuff, right? And I've got a veggie apron that was made for me by Miss Pauletta. And I have a chicken wire one with chickens that Miss Pauletta made for me. She always makes me a little headband because she knows I like to wear my hair up in a headband. So she sent me a headscarf. Look, she sent me a little headscarf too, so I can put my hair up. Isn't that adorable? I love it. But wait until you see this apron. So excited. Look, are you ready? Look. Do you love it or what? I love this. The vegetable one has no cucumbers on it. Look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. She made this for me, and I wanted to put it on while you guys are here, but I don't know if I can tie it. I'm just going to put a loose knot in this and then just slip it over my head. Look at that. I'm going to stand up. Oh, I love it. I need to adjust myself. But look what she did too. I love this. I need to make this up a little higher, but she made extra long ties for me. Oh my gosh. So now I can just wrap it around the back, wrap it around the front, and just tie it in front, because I don't know about you guys, but reaching around the back to tie your apron in the back is such a mess. It's difficult to do when you don't have issues, but I have rotator cuff issues. And so it was so difficult for me to do that. So she made it so I can just wrap it around. Look at that. I'm going to be doing my next videos wearing my Country Mama musings. Miss Pauletta is amazing. I'm so happy to have 3 aprons from her by now, and now she's personalizing them, and I love it. I will be putting her information in the comments. Oh, goodness, sorry. I will be putting her information in the comments when this video is done. So if you guys want an apron, each apron is, she personalizes it. And I don't just mean she personalizes it this way. I mean, you contact her and say, I like that material. I like this style. And can you do this for me? And she makes it for you. She makes other ones that she puts up for sale. But if you tell her what you want, she makes it for you. So yes, I love the long ties. I'm so happy to finally have the long ties. And I just love, I love this. So yes, I will be putting her info. And then the thing is though, is when I give you the info and you contact her to make an apron, say, Alicia at Country Mama Musing sent me. Because eventually I'm hoping she'll give me one. And say, thank you for sending me business. Here's a little apron. That's what I'm hoping for. You need one with a beard and my channel name on it. She could put your channel name on it. I don't know about the beard. I mean, I suppose she could make you, Daz, a beard scarf. You could have a beard scarf. You could do it this way. And you could have, I can't see where I am backwards on the thing. You could do a beard scarf and your channel. That would be funny. I love this one. This is my new favorite one. I love my aprons, but this one's my new favorite right there. Oh my gosh. I should probably have her make me a bunch of them and put them up as merch. Oh my gosh. Ding, ding. Or I need to get I gave my sewing machine to my daughter-in-law after I went through chemo because it affected my vision. My vision's blurry and I couldn't thread the needle. And so I just gave it to her. But maybe I need to start making some aprons and get myself something. This is not embroidered. It's a cricket. Feels like it's a cricket thing. I don't care. I love it. But maybe I should start doing that for my merch. If you guys do it for your merch, I want to kick back for the idea. I make all of mine with long ties. I just did a light blue jean and the vintage blue jean and white pinstripe. Very cute, Casey. Very cute. Very, very cute. So I'm so excited for this. I told her, I said, I'm going to go on my live and I'm going to open my apron. I think my hair's so cute today, though. I'm not going to put I was going to put my kerchief on, but I'm going to save it. I love that she threw that in there for a little bonus. Thank you. I love that. So there was something else I was excited about this week. Oh, really? They have a hook that threads the needle? Okay, I'm going to have to look. I might bless myself with a new sewing machine. My craft room is such a mess right now. It's just such a mess. And I need to clean it. And I think what I'm going to do, have you ever seen those things where people are like, join me today as I clean underneath my bathroom cabinet, and people click on and they watch somebody clean and organize their bathroom cabinet? I'm guilty. I've done it. I mean, I can't find anything more interesting to watch than somebody actually organizing underneath their bathroom cabinet. But I think I might do that with my craft room. I think I might just set up the camera, record me organizing my craft room, showing a before, the fast forwarded middle, and then the after. And I might post that. I don't know. What do you think? Here I am at 1:30 in the morning talking aprons. Well, now we're talking craft rooms, Daz. I know, that's the thing, is watching people clean. I told myself yesterday, it's like, I need to clean my fridge. I wonder if I should record that. I see more and more videos just being thrown up on there. It's like, I don't know that I would do that. It's like, but it's got thousands of views. Maybe I should do that. Okay, Monica, we'll talk to you later. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you were able to stop in. Come do yours next. So I think I might do my craft room. I mean, I did one cleaning out our summer kitchen. That one went okay. Hi, Garden Gals from Florida. Thank you for joining us. I just showed off my new apron. Look at that. Isn't that fun? I just got that in the mail. I love it. So I want to show you what else. So all of you know Gail Southern Living and Coupon Gail. She had a giveaway the other day, and I was fortunate enough to be one of the recipients of one of her gifts. And one of her gifts is she has this list of companies that she emails, and then you get a coupon. So what she did is she emailed all of them, and instead of putting in her information, she put in my information so the stuff would come to me. And I thought, this is pretty cool. And I shared a couple of them with you last time, but I went to the mailbox yesterday, and holy buckets, look at the mail that came in. These are all coupons. Every single one are coupons. And I'm not going to go through all of them because that would just be incredibly boring. But I do want to highlight a couple of them because look at this one. If I can get it, it's like a Christmas card. King's Hawaiian almost sent me a Christmas card. Do you see that? And when you open it up, it's got stickers. I mean, it just went all out. I have stickers. I have a magnet. I've got all of these coupons. And one of the coupons, I mean, save $1. Save $1. Hello, free. An entire packet of King's Hawaiian for free. You know I'm down for that. And a recipe that I'm going to try. And another sticker. I mean, my gosh. Well, look, it's like a Christmas card. I mean, they went all out. Love it. So, but the other one that I got that I thought was so impressive, right? There is, wait till you see the gold. The gold I'm saving for the end. I got one. I like drinking almond milk. I like almond milk. I got 2 coupons from Silk for a gallon or whatever I want. I can get whatever I want up to $5.99. They sent me 2 coupons that are valued at $12. Isn't that amazing? And oh, you know something that was funny? I don't know which one it was, but I opened one and it's for any, it's a parent company that has a lot of little companies underneath them. And one of them is Auntie Anne's. I thought that was so funny because, you know, we all see Auntie Anne over there with Ridge Life. So I'm going to be doing just a separate video, a mail call video on all of these. But when I opened the mailbox and I took out all of those beautiful coupons, there was a slip that I had a package that I had to pick up. And I thought, what in the world could be coming? You know, I thought, did somebody send me some love in the mail? I wasn't sure. But I turned the slip in and the lady at the post office walks around and she has this huge box. I'm like, what in the world? Let me grab this box. Let me show you. Oh, look at this box. It's fragile. See? It's fragile. Huge box. And I thought, what in God's green earth is that? It's one of the things from the coupon thing that Gail did in my name. And inside, if I can grab it, inside are 6 boxes of tostada bowls for taco salad. They sent me 24 taco shells for tostada bowls. Isn't that amazing? I can put them in my pantry. They're not, I mean, really, they're not going to go bad. But we're going to be having some taco salad. And of course, I'll be doing that as an unboxing and then making the taco salad and a product review. Ding, ding. That's going to be another video. Isn't that a score? Oh my gosh. I was so excited to see that. But what I think is funny is, and all over it's got special handling, all these stickers, right? For the post office. They spent $29 sending those to me. Why not send me like $30 worth of coupons for, you know, a free box of tostada bowls? Send me 4 or 5 or 6 of those and save yourself the postage. But I mean, for me, I don't know is that insanity that they did it this way, or is this good customer relations? Thinking it's good customer relations because they're going to get a review. They're going to get my thanks. This is Rio Rancho tostada bowls. Good deal. So I was so excited to see that. And oh my gosh, can't wait to do this. So I've got a few videos coming up that I'll be doing today. So I'm just going to shut up now and stop talking. Talk about amazing. Isn't that the truth, Daz? Talk about amazing. Hey, Joe. I hope you have an awesome day too. I'm going to make a video. It's free ads. You know it's true. You know it's true, Casey. But I was just so surprised to see that. And now I'm so excited to see what else is going to show up. My goodness, if you're not following Coupon Gail yet, go over and give her a follow, watch a video, give her a like, and then tell her I sent you over if you're not already there. Because she's really got some great ideas for couponing, getting free things, and she does challenges, all kinds of fun stuff. And who doesn't love tacos, right? They absolutely know how to get my attention. You know it. So I'm very excited about that. So I told you I was going to show you a story. Who got to watch my video last night about making the egg burritos and how it's such a great thing for camping? I'm really bad throughout the week, really bad, with hearing something or seeing something throughout the week. And it makes me think, oh, I need to tell that story, that one story. And then I forget because I don't write it down. And I've done that probably 9 or 10 times this past week. And I've not written anything down. And I got up this morning, I thought, man, what am I going to talk about? I don't know which stories to share. But I did share the story, or I'm sorry, I shared the video last night about the little egg burritos that you steam in the packets. And they're really great for camping. And I do remember when one of my boys were in Boy Scouts, hubby and that boy had gone on a camping trip and they had made these packets, but they weren't from frozen. They didn't freeze the eggs to save the eggs. They just made them and the kids got to put their own things in. So it's like they had the bag of eggs and the kids could put whatever they wanted in their little omelet, and they did that. So it really is good for camping. And I thought, oh, I should share that one camping story. And I normally share this one camping story closer to Thanksgiving because it happened at Thanksgiving. I know, isn't that the biggest lie ever? I do the same thing. You just open a bag of cashews. Has anybody seen how cashews are formed? Have you seen that? My husband was eating some cashews the other day. So if you ever seen that, it is absolutely crazy. If you haven't yet, you need to go find a video. Not now, wait till after the live, on how cashews are formed. You lose the list. I had to go into town yesterday and go shopping, and I wrote a list and I took it with me. And I had somebody say, why do you have a list? Why don't you just put it on your phone? I don't know. Because it takes too long for me to type it in, and I write it all down and I take it with me. But now I need to write down and think of the topics that I need to share. So anyways, when we had the 4 boys at home when they were little, but I'm going to say like from 7 up into their teens, we had been invited to go out to the desert, out in the Anza Borrego Desert, which is just it's, a hop, skip, and a jump from the Salton Sea out in the California desert. And we had been invited by a coworker of my husband's to go out and join them for Thanksgiving. He says, oh, they get together for Thanksgiving. They do it every year. And everybody brings out their camping trailers and they put them in a circle, wagon style, and they bring their motorcycles. Everybody goes off and rides their motorcycles. And then at night, they all get together and they cook whatever they're going to cook. And then it's kind of like family style or potluck style. And everybody goes around and they share each other's food. And why don't you come? So hubby accepted, even though we didn't have anything to go on this trip. We didn't have a travel trailer, which was our mistake number 1. So we didn't have anything to sleep in or to put, circle the wagons or anything. And so I went down to Sears and I used our credit card and I bought the best Sir Edmund Hillary tent that they had. It was the best that you could get. And I mean, it touted that it survived up on K2. It's, this is the K2 Himalayan tent and it would withstand everything. And boy, did I fall for that. So I bought this tent and I've got some cots for my hubby and myself because I'm not sleeping on the ground. And got sleeping bags for everybody. We already had a little pup tent that the two older boys wanted to just kind of put out on their own. They didn't want to sleep in the big family tent, so we let them do that. So we pack everything up into my brand new Soccer Mom minivan, brand new. And we tow behind us a little trailer with the motorcycles on it. And we drive out here to this desert. Now, and we took our dog. I have to stipulate that. We took our dog. And our dog was like, this 100-pound Doberman Lab mix. Her name was Baby Dog. And we just thought she can just run in the desert all she wants. And she's part of the family. And we're going to take her along with us. So she jumped in the car too. And we're driving along. And, there's some windy roads on the way to this place. And all of a sudden, the dog's in the back and she starts salivating and drooling. And my husband was following in his old, I think it was a 61 GMC truck. And I pulled over the side of the road. I kicked her out. I said, she's riding in the truck with you. She's not going to be puking in my brand new van. There's no way. So we finally make it to our destination. And this is like through desert little trails and over railroad tracks that have long been abandoned. And we see our coworkers set up with all of the trailers and everything. But my husband didn't quite feel comfortable intruding in on that. Even though he invited us out for this Thanksgiving weekend, he said, I don't know a lot of those people. I don't want to look like an intruder. I think he was maybe it was a little bit of a pride thing because we didn't have a nice travel trailer like everybody else did. He says, let's just go down the road a little bit. We'll find our own little spot, but we'll still be close enough. We can go over on the motorcycles. We can all still hang out. I said, fine. So we probably drove, I don't know, a couple miles, and we found this really neat clearing. And hubby says, that's the place to go. So we pulled into where this clearing was. And we spent 2 hours putting our tent up, getting it all set up, building a fire ring, putting up the easy up with our outdoor kitchen set up and everything. And he brought a little porta potty that he had made. And he had made this porta potty like out of an egg crate with a bucket and a toilet seat, very primitive. He goes, we'll just dig a hole, sit it on there. We'll have a toilet. Okay. I mean, I can live with that. But he sets it up like right in the middle of camp. It's like, can't you go put it behind a bush or something? And he says, why do we need a bush? We're out here in the middle of nowhere. It's just us. I already dug the hole. It's staying where it's going to stay. So, all right, whatever. So after he gets done installing the toilet, my kids come screaming. They'd been out adventuring and looking around and stuff. My son comes up screaming, and he's got a shovel. And on the shovel is a tarantula. And you guys already know how I feel about spiders. And I'm not talking, a tarantula. I'm talking like the legs were hanging off the edge of this shovel tarantula. And it's petrified. It's scared to death. So, of course, I let out a scream, and it backs up. And I don't know who's more scared, me or the poor tarantula. And shrieking, I said, my God, where did you find that? And my son says, just on the other side of the tent. There's a dry riverbed, a little dry creek bed on the other side of the tent. There's hundreds of them. And I'm like, oh, that hell arachnoid, no, I'm not gonna stay here if there are spiders everywhere. So, but we got to go investigate. So what we didn't realize while we're setting all this tent and camp and everything up is there's this, there was like a little trail out of our campsite down into this riverbed. So we walked down there, and the riverbed, the sides of the riverbed are like 8 foot tall. Okay. And you got this dry creek bed. And in the side of that wall are hundreds of holes full of tarantulas. It's like this tarantula mating ground. And I mean, you just pop up over the edge, and then there's our tent. I told husband, I told Papa Jim, I said, we're packing up and we're finding another place. And he said, we are not packing up and finding another place. We just spent 2 hours putting all of this up. If we leave them alone, they'll leave us alone, and don't worry about it. And I lost the battle on that. We did not move. If he was smart, he would have listened to me and we would have moved. He is smart, but sometimes he doesn't listen. So I gave up on that. And, the day kind of went on. And I got everything settled. And everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And I have to tinkle. So I walk over to the milk crate, drop trow, my blue jeans, which I just kind of kept tucked up, like on my thighs. And I'm sitting there with my shirt, shirt, pants to my thighs. It just looks like I'm sitting on a box, right? And I'm sitting there. And I'm about 6 drops into my tinkle when his coworker comes walking into camp, totally oblivious to the fact that I'm peeing. He just walks right up to me because he thinks I'm just sitting on this egg crate because the positioning was just right. He walks up and he says, "Hey, Alicia, how you doing? Where's Jim?" And I'm like stopped midstream because I want to pee in front of my husband's coworker. But I couldn't hold it anymore. And I started dribbling just a little bit. And it dawned on me. He's like, "Oh, my God." I was like, "Yeah, I know." So he turned about face and he took off looking for my husband. But I was mortified. And there are times that we've run into him since because they don't work together anymore. Obviously, we've moved. But when we were still back there, I'd run into him and I would still kind of hide my face. You don't like this story. It's going to get better or worse, depending. So completely mortified. I finish up. No good job is done until the paperwork is complete. And I go and I make myself a cup of coffee and I just sit down by the fire. The boys are off with their motorcycles and all their other little fun things and everything. And I realize after a few hours, there are no tarantula that are, molesting us or anything. No more unexpected visitors. It's very quiet. Sunset in a desert is so beautiful because as the sun sets, you get all those layers of pink and orange and purple that just kind of paint the sky in the desert. And we were just really enjoying the evening time. We had a beautiful dinner and we had cocoa before we went to bed. And the older boys went off to their bed and all of us went into this family tent and got all hunkered down. And I thought, this isn't so bad. And about midnight, first I checked my sleeping bag, by the way, to make sure there were no tarantula in it because I was really worried about that. But we're settled in and everything's perfect in our little camping world. But then around midnight, there's this distant sound, this buzzing sound. Yeah, bam, just like that. Here it comes. There was this buzzing sound. And I remember laying on my cot and asking Papa Jim, "What is that?" He says, "I don't know." And we laid there for a little bit and it got closer and it got closer and it got closer. And then bam, just like that, a dune buggy comes out of the dry riverbed and up. Remember that little pathway I mentioned earlier that comes right up into this clearing where we made our camp? This thing comes catapulting. Yes, Des, that's how it sounded. Out of the dry riverbed and just like sailing past our tent and then taking off into the desert. It actually came through where our tent was and where our campfire was smoldering down for the night. It just went right through there and just took off. And we're like, "Oh my God." Luckily, it didn't land on my kids' tent where I had the 2 boys sleeping. Luckily, it didn't hit our tent. Luckily, it didn't hit the fire and spread embers everywhere and set both tents on fire all night long till about 4 a.m. Wee, 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 all up and down that riverbed all night long. were all of these desert enthusiasts that brought their dune buggies, and we were on the main path. And I lost count of how many times they would drive up. And I'm sure when they came up the ramp and they were like flying in the air, it was Arizona Kid. Yeah, at least it didn't hit the outhouse. I mean, I should be thankful for that. It didn't hit the outhouse. I wonder if they came up the ramp and went, wee, they were airborne. Did they look down and go, oh crap, there's somebody was stupid enough some stupid desert camping virgin was stupid enough to put their camp there. We missed all of the obvious signs, all of them. So like I said, like from midnight to 4 o'clock. And I woke up in the morning. I mean, like, mama needs a drink. And we didn't have anything to imbibe, but I was like, mama needs a drink. But we had some coffee, things settled down for the day. The dog was doing fine. The kids were off riding their motorcycles. Jim and I went on a motorcycle ride and came back. And one thing I learned is when you're on a motorcycle, because I mean, I had a motorcycle from the time I was 12 years old, but out there in the desert, you get where the wind blows and it creates this washboard effect on a lot of the trails. And as you're riding on a washboard, as you're riding, you hit the washboards, it makes your accelerator wrist twist. So you get faster and faster, and then you can't control it. You have to learn how to rein it in. And now I know why. I didn't know why nobody camped there. I knew somebody else surely must camp there. I don't know. Anyways, so we had a nice day of riding the motorcycles, and it was Thanksgiving Day. And we had a special menu planned for Thanksgiving camping in the desert. And it was not my pouch eggs. But what we had planned for dinner, instead of the traditional turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and green bean casserole and all that, you can't really do that out there in a tent in the middle of nowhere. But we did bring our camp stove and our little table, and we set it up, and I made a big pot of spaghetti, and Papa Jim made steaks. So we had steaks and spaghetti. And where we lived in town, there was this Italian restaurant that we used to love to go to all the time. And they would have specials throughout the week, and it would always be steak and spaghetti. And that was the big thing for the guys at work. The boss would come through and say, come on, I'm taking everybody lunch. And they'd all go have steak and spaghetti. So we made steak and spaghetti for dinner. And okay, so it had some sand in the spaghetti, but we managed and it was okay. And Papa did a great job on the steaks. And we ate until we couldn't eat anymore. And, on the edge of the steak, you might have some fat and some gristle, and the kids won't eat that. And so we've got some steak gristle and some fat that we've put on a plate for the dog. And there was leftover spaghetti. And it's not like I can just put it in a Tupperware and pop it in the fridge. So it's like, what am I going to do with this food? So we made this big platter for the dog of steak gristle and fat and spaghetti. And she loved it. She ate it all. And it's like, she's a member of the family. She deserves a good Thanksgiving dinner too. So eat up, baby dog. Have all you want. We love you. So again, the sun sets on a successful day. We had no problems all day. And we checked our sleeping bags for the tarantulae, and nothing was there. And so we crawled in and we settled in. And I was waiting for the dune buggies to come back, And yeah, they can throw you in a ditch really quick. I learned that. I didn't end up in a ditch though. So we just settled in, and I'm just laying there. I'm thinking, we're so blessed. This was such a good day. I mean, we had some minor mechanical issues with one of the bikes, but nobody got hurt. Nobody's fighting with each other. 4 boys, that happens. And I had just settled into my sleeping bag thinking about just how wonderful this is. And as I'm waiting for those dune buggies to come back, I start hearing this little pitter-patter on the top of the tent. Tiny little raindrops. And if you turned your flashlight on and illuminated the entire tent, you could see where they were hitting, just sporadically. Tiny little raindrops on the roof. And I thought, this is perfect, because now, if it's going to be raining, the dune buggies won't be out, is the way I think. And they didn't come out because they were smart, because they knew what they were in for. Everybody hunkered down while we're sitting there going, oh, this is so great. So the little pitter patter became a bigger pitter patter. And we got quite a bit of rain, but I didn't care. Except now I was worried if the tarantula were going to come out because there's all this moisture. I don't know whether they did or not. I didn't have a chance to figure out if they did or not, because sometime around midnight is when the wind started. And if you've never been in a desert windstorm, consider yourself fortunate, because we had this desert windstorm blow through. And it's not like, oh, it's windy, then it stops. Oh, it's windy, then it stops. No, this was a full-on gale force winds that did not stop. It just blew. And we had enough rain to kind of, enjoy pitter-patter, but not enough to keep the sand from blowing. So as we're in the tent starts filling up with silt in the air, all of the sand in the air. And I mean, you can see it floating around. And everybody's sitting up in their sleeping bags, except for the two boys that are out in their little tent. I guess they never even woke up, according to one son. He says they just slept through the whole thing. But everybody's sitting up, and it's starting to get a little scary because that tent is starting to collapse as that wind is blowing through. And we can't see, Well, one by one, all of the little eyelets that you put the tent stakes through into the hard desert soil, they started ripping from the corners of the tent. So now we've got the tent collapsing on itself, ripping on the corners. The kids are starting to cry. We can't see, but we can hear. I mean, we can see, but you know what I mean. And we start hearing, the dog became extremely nervous in this fiasco. And she went to one of the corners. I'm going to puke. She went to one of the corners and she deposited all of her spaghetti and steak fat in the corner. Good morning, Pauletta. Look what I'm wearing. Guys, Pauletta Ford is in the house, and she is the lovely lady who makes my aprons. And Pauletta, I already told everybody I'm going to put your information in the description box below, because I've already had some say, hey, I need that in my life. So, no, I'm not talking dirt devils. Yes, dirt devils are nasty, and I've been caught in one. I'm talking a full-on, have you ever seen that video of that Iraqi sandstorm that just moves in over this town? That's what it was like. So anyways, the dog has just vomited her food in the corner of our tent. So when the dog vomits, the kids start vomiting. The kids can't, and you can smell it. And then the eyelets rip out of the tent. So the corners of the tent are not being held down. So as the tent is being knocked back and forth in this windstorm, and the corners start flipping up in the windstorm, this vomit starts flinging hither and yon. There's vomit everywhere flying, and the kids are sick. And then I start, I didn't vomit. It was right there. And then the whole tent just collapsed. I mean, it just collapsed on us. And I said, that's it. We're bailing out. But where to go? Where are you going to go? So who remembers watching? What an appropriate time to, you'll have to catch the earlier part of the story. This is what nightmares are made of. So who remembers watching Little House on the Prairie when they have that blizzard? And Pa has to go out to the barn, but he has to, go by rope because he can't see anything. So Jim goes out of the tent so he can affix a rope to the mirror of his truck back to the tent and tie the tent to the truck because we don't want the whole tent blowing away. And as he's walking out, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to lose him in the storm. I'll never see him again. And I thought of that show from, that episode. So he makes it out, ties the tent down, and comes back in, and it's like every man for themselves. We were able to see in between gusts of wind that the pup tent that our kids put up, the older boys, was completely flattened. It would just kind of just like they were cocooned in there, and like they say they slept through it. I don't know. So, but hubby and I and the two littles, we beelined it. There's no room in the truck for four of us, so we beelined it for my brand new van. And I told Jim, I said, that dog puking up all that spaghetti is not coming in the van. She can ride it out in the tent. So we jump into the van and we're all just sitting there watching the sand. And every once in a while, you'd get a glimpse of the tent. And by now, the tent has ripped all of its little, I don't know what you call those things that you put. I can't believe I just did that. The little things that you put the stakes through into the ground. They've all ripped out of the tent. They're all ripped. So now the only thing holding the tent in place is this rope. And it's like a parasail, just blowing in the wind with our dog in it. And every once in a while, it would fall to the ground. The dog would find her way out. She'd kind of do this, and then she'd dive back in. Hours. We did this for hours, and it just did not let up all night long. Until the sun broke. As soon as the sun broke, the wind stopped. It was really, really weird. It just stopped. And so we were able to survey the damage. The kids are still in their pup tent. The dog is, walking in circles. She's been beat to crap. Covered in spaghetti. And we looked around. And it was what my husband called a redneck Christmas, okay? Because we had everybody's crap from every campsite to the west of us. Everything that had blown out of their campsite had blown and was in our campsite. We had easy ups. We had chairs, eyelets. Thank you for those of you who said eyelets. We had so much trash. And while we're surveying the damage, I looked at my brand new truck, which was this color, by the way. And one side of it had been completely sandblasted, all pitted, all sandblasted. And hubby and I just looked at each other and was like, pack up, we're leaving. His coworker rode down on his motorcycle to make sure we were all still alive. And I think he collected a few of his belongings from his camp. But we packed up and we went home. And we got home and hubby put that tent in the front yard. He says, are you going to be able to rinse that thing out and save it? And I was like, are you freaking crazy? A, I'm not cleaning up all that vomit. I'm not going to do it. I can't. And B, I'm never, ever camping in a tent ever again. I refuse to do it. And so shortly after that, we bought our first little camper. We bought a little tent trailer, which was, a step up, but we went through all kinds of trailers after that until the last one we had was a fifth wheel with, slide outs and fireplaces, and all the fancy stuff. So, but I've never slept in a tent again. So that is my little camping story. I did write about it. I've got it in my blog. I'll put the link in the comments when we're all done. I got more than I came with. Great Christmas presents. That's right. I think we did get a couple of good chairs out of that deal. But I mean, we had everything. Trash, chairs, easy ups, all kinds of stuff. It was a nightmare. And I told my husband, I'm never doing that again. We went on many more camping trips. But yeah, the slide outs. But we never did that again. Oh my God, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I can still hear the dog vomiting. It's one of those sounds that just stick with you, and the instant panic when you look at your kids and realize they're next. I mean, nobody can hold it in. It's going to be a puke fest. Oh God, it was awful. Absolutely awful. So I learned some very important lessons that day. I learned tent camping is not for me. I learned to really inspect where you're going to set up camp before you put the time and effort into setting up camp. Hello there, Big Matt. It wouldn't have mattered if I had 2 long tent stakes because all of the eyelets were ripped out. Everything ripped apart on that tent. This Sir Edmund Hillary expensive. I should have just put it back in the box and taken it to Sears and tell them it didn't live up to its name, but I didn't. But so I learned to inspect where you're going to camp, look for tarantulae mating grounds, and for inlets or outlets to a dry riverbed for dune buggies. And I also learned that you don't feed a dog a bunch of steak and spaghetti because it will come back up to follow you all the days of your life. Okay, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Who knows what time it is? Teach hubby to put the outhouse behind the bush. I didn't have to worry about it after that because there were no more outhouses. Well, no. The tent trailer didn't have a toilet. Or did it? I don't know. After that, we camped at 1,000 trails in that little thing. Okay, go get another cup of coffee. The lessons we learn, right? Okay. Who wants to come on and chat? Does anybody want to join me this morning for my pineapple mango? We can put you up on the screen here. Maybe you can share some camping stories or anything you relate to or anything new going on. Good morning, Moon Sprouts. Oh, Casey, it would be great to have you come on. Yeah, it's 11:12 now. Great experience. It was a learning experience. And you know what? It's a memorable experience. Because I know that there have been times that we went camping and I don't remember the details. It was a good camping trip, but it wasn't a memorable camping trip. But I've got those few camping trips that are memorable. Okay, I'm going to bring Big Matt on. Here it comes. Hey, Big Matt.
Hello.
Can we hear you?
I can hear you.
Ann. Hi, Ann. Everybody make sure your microphones are on. You have to have your microphones on. And you have to make sure that you mute your YouTube that you're watching because now you're in StreamYard. And the YouTube will I can't mute your mic. You guys I can't hear you. Oh wait, do I even have my no, my speakers are on.
Okay, let's see. My mic is on. Can you?
I hear you, Ann. Hi. Oh. So yeah, make sure that on YouTube you mute it because now your volume is going to be here on StreamYard. So I don't know if you can mute YouTube or just close out your YouTube tab and just have your StreamYard tab open now. So Big Matt, how are you doing?
Let me check that. Good. I'll be right back.
I hear both of you now. That's awesome.
Is there an echo? I don't hear an echo.
See, what's difficult for me on this end is I don't hear a lot of the stuff either. And we found out that the hard way when we had that one live where we had our friend come on and the little boy was playing in the background and that's all you heard. So look at the comments. Right. Just close. Oh, Ann left us before I could even say something. So Matt, what's up with you? Where are you from and what's up?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. That's right next to Dallas, right? Dallas, Houston. No, that's Dallas, Fort Worth. Sorry, you're
6 hours.
There you go. Yeah, I used to live in Plano, so I've got a little bit of Texas in my history. Ann's coming back. There you are, Ann.
Hi.
So what were you saying, Matt? I like your hook on your hat. My husband's had those.
Yes.
There it is.
It's camouflage.
Good deal. So what's everybody been up to, Ann and Matt?
I'm joining you in my flavored water. I went and got some of my Energen C probiotics to put in there.
Nice.
So we could be two peas
Nice.
pod.
I want to tell everybody hi, but I have to get off now because we got to go to the farm.
You're going to the pharmacy? Is it because you're outnumbered by the women and now we're forcing you off the channel?
No, because I have one.
Is it because I ignored you the first 10 seconds you were in here?
No.
All right. Well, I hope all goes well with your jaunt into the pharmacy. Gosh, I wish I had a good pharmacy joke for you. Where you going, Ann?
I was turning her. I did a cartwheel.
So, and there he goes before I could even think about giving him a joke. Bye, Matt.
Oh my goodness. So how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you? Cheers.
Cheers, my dear. Cheers. Gosh, that camping story. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine having the dog sick in your tent. Oh no. Oh no.
And what was bad? Well, no, I shouldn't say bad. I mean, I have to look for the good in things, right?
You do, yes.
The positive of it is she hadn't eaten it that long ago. So what came up wasn't digested. It would be bad if it was like dog vomit. But this was like spaghetti noodles. There were just
oh no.
When the wind would blow and it would just fling. It was just flinging noodles.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
It's like there would be a fling, and then you take the flashlight and check on your kids, and one would have like a noodle stuck on their face.
Oh no. Oh, we have to change this subject. That is just disgusting. Oh.
They're like, it's like everybody out of the tent. Everybody out.
Let's go get in the storm.
Hi, Lynette. Hi, Sweet Pea Farm. Oh, they can keep YouTube up, just mute YouTube. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Okay. So, and what have you been up to out there in your little garden of plenty? And I don't see a bunch of tomatoes lined up behind you.
They're not. They're gone. They're in under glass, they say. Okay. Under glass. We have canned, gosh, I have close to 100 jars of canned tomatoes.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy. Stewed tomatoes, tomato juice, tomato paste, tomato sauce, tomato salsa verde. I mean,
yes.
I figure if a big famine happens, then we'll eat tomatoes and rice and tomatoes and rice and beans. And,
and see, that's smart because I've got about 70 jars of pickles. And Lord, what am I going to do with all of those?
Right. I loved your pickling video. Oh my God.
It's time to make the pickles.
That was hilarious. It was just so funny. But
Case is just now finding her table. Her table was covered with all kinds of stuff to put up.
It was insane. I mean, it was insane. And we still have tomatoes. I mean, there's another section of indeterminate tomatoes that we planted, and our cherry tomatoes are still coming off. So goodness gracious.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video later today for my cherry tomatoes. I was too tired to do my cherry tomato salsa, but that turned out really good. Instead of using the bigger tomatoes, I used the little cherry tomatoes in a salsa with the skin. Turned out really, really good. But I was too tired to make a video. I was just
darn.
I know. And I thought, well, I'm going to get enough to make another video, but I'm not. So I'm going to do something different with my tomatoes. I'll do a video for that later today. Okay. But I'm still getting romas. I get enough romas. When they blush, I put them in here on the table. And once they ripen up, I rinse them and I put them in a bag and I pop them in the freezer. And I probably have 30 pounds out there now, but because I only planted 4 little romas. Okay. And then I planted the suckers and they actually bloomed and gave me a little bit of fruit.
Okay.
And I've got 4 more romas that I picked up at a clearance sale at the farm store.
Great.
So they've fruited, but for some reason those have blossom end rot. even though I've treated them exactly the same as I have the others. So something about just those. But then I got a slicer tomato plant. I can't remember which type it was. But I mean, it was just this little seedling and it was almost dead at the farm store. And I think I got it for like 40, 50 cents or something. I brought it home. And it's like, you'll be okay, little buddy. And that thing is like Audrey 5. I mean, it's so big and nothing will support it that I have. And it's flopping over with these big slicers that I'm just waiting for them to blush up.
That's fabulous.
Yes. Daz is still recovering from the story. I did make a lot of bread and butter pickles out of that batch, though.
Okay.
And my cucumbers, because if things get really bad, I have everything I need to bake my bread. I can bake it in my solar oven, so even if we don't have electricity, and I can make bread and butter sandwiches, which is why they call them bread and butter pickles in the first place.
That's right. That's right. There you go. You got something to eat. We don't have a solar oven yet.
Oh, you need to get one.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get one of those. I'm going to have to change the name of the garden from the Land of Plenty, which I don't want to do, but to the Land of YouTube, because I've gotten so many seeds from Garden State Gardener and all these others, and they're all planted out in the garden now. So each time I walk by, I think about the people that sent me the seeds. It's wonderful.
Oh, yes. And with Garden State Gardener, it was like, okay, am I gonna get on the wheel? Is it gonna hit me? And it never does.
Oh.
And then the one time that we were under a tornado watch and stuck out in the kitchen, I won a shirt and I couldn't even get the shirt. So the last couple Sundays I haven't been on, but I'm gonna get back on and see if I can get some seeds from Joe. I think that would be pretty neat. And I'm not gonna let Joey pick any of those really hot peppers for me either.
Yeah, I'm not big on really, really super hot peppers. That's for sure.
Well, I was making my relish, and I have a big Tupperware bowl. One of the big ones holds 50 cups. Okay. And when I made my relish, which was a recipe from Pauletta Ford, who jumped in here earlier, who made the apron for me.
Okay.
I had 50 cups of relish to make, but I didn't have a red pepper. And all of the chickens had gotten into my peppers, but I did manage to have some green peppers to pull, but I didn't have a red pepper. Well, those little ones that I saved, those little plants that I saved from the farm store had pepper plants, but they were supposed to be sweet peppers and they were supposed to be purple. And the tag said purple sweet peppers, and they had little purple peppers on them. So brought those back to life, and the peppers grew, but they didn't get big, and then they turned red.
Oh.
And I thought, well, I'll just use those red peppers in my salsa.
Oh.
Or my relish. So I cut them up, and I didn't take any precautions because I just thought they were sweet peppers, right?
Sure.
And I don't know if you heard this before. I don't know if you were around when I told this before, but so I cut them, and then I had a neighbor show up, and I was running around in my jammies canning, so I'd throw some clothes on and wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Well, when I wiped the sleep out of my eyes, I'd been cutting those sweet peppers. Well, they were not sweet peppers.
Oh no.
And I'm talking to him like this. I said, I don't know what's wrong with my eye. And I'm rubbing it, the eyelid, going, I don't know what's wrong with my eye.
Oh, no.
And then it dawned on me. So I just kind of bit my fingernail, and then my mouth was on fire.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what they were. I don't know what little peppers they are, but they're hotter than all get out.
Did you find that out before you put them in your relish?
They're in the relish. So I called my husband. I said, this is an emergency. I need you to pick up some red peppers on the way home so I can at least diversify a little bit. And true story was not last night, but the night before, I made myself some hot dogs, and I opened up my first jar of my relish, and I pulled out a big scoop of it, and there was this big chunk of red, and I was like, nope. I don't know what you are, but you're not going on my hot dog.
Oh, my gracious.
Those super hot chocolate ones.
No surprise.
Uh-oh, Joey's the moderator this week. That should be interesting. Oh my gosh. Casey says, milk. Milk, I rinsed. I'm not kidding. And my husband, he says, oh, you're such a little wuss. because I'm like, my fingers burn. My fingers burn.
Sure
This
they
is
are.
2 days later, because not only did I cut the tops off, but I just went in there and I scooped all of the stuff out,
Of course you did.
like any fool would do. So my fingers were hurting. And he's like, stop it. It's like, no, they really hurt. And I got so desperate, Anne, I'm going to share this on here. I got so desperate that I was reminded of the time that this young girl went to, from church. She had gone with us on a beach outing with our kids, and she stepped on a jellyfish.
Oh, no.
And this person ran over and peed on her foot.
Yeah.
They said that neutralizes it and it won't hurt anymore. I peed on my fingers, Anne. I was so desperate. I peed on my fingers. And let me tell you, it does not work. You know how peppers have a Scoville scale? My Scoville scale on my poor little fingers shot right through the roof. There's something about peeing on your fingers if you've been touching hot peppers. It makes it 10 times worse. And look, now I'm down to 3 people in here. You should see me when I do hot peppers, plastic gloves, and goggles. You know, when I use what she's up to now, when I do peppers, I wear gloves.
Right.
And I have safety goggles because I used to make soap. So, I mean, I have all of the equipment, and I certainly would have put gloves on if I would have known that that's what these peppers were. Sure. So I think what's happened is I think some little stinker, some little kid went through the garden section at my little farm store and started switching tags. Because those are not little sweet peppers. Because I love getting little sweet peppers and putting them in our salads or something, because they add color and flavor. And I love just getting the little sweet peppers. And I thought that's what I was getting. So now what I'm going to do, because there's a bunch of them out there. I have yellow, I have purple, I have red, got some little green ones. I've got all kinds of stuff out there now growing in my little box. And so I'm just going to make a pepper jelly. And
there you go.
I saw a beautiful, beautiful picture in one of my canning groups of this beautiful pepper jelly. And everybody, I don't get this, Anne. Explain this to me if you have any insight on it. When you join a canning group to share and learn about canning,
yeah,
why do some of these people post beautiful pictures of what they canned and then no, I don't share my recipes? Oh, well, then why share it other than just a good ego boost for you, for people to say, oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, it's gorgeous. And his pepper jelly, the peppers are evenly distributed all through the jar. There's no rising or settling.
Oh.
And everybody's like, oh, it's so beautiful. I'd love your recipe. No, I don't share my recipes. And it goes down long enough where people are like, I'd love your recipe. And people chime in and say he doesn't share his recipes. What's so special? How many people do you think are in your geographical area, Mr. Big Head, that you think, so, and now everybody's going to make your pepper jelly and you won't be able to sell it at your farmer's market. If you're going to share it. So then
why would you even do that? That's
I don't know. But then he says, because they want pats on the back, but not be part of the group like they should. And because they are a turd. So then he says, well, I won't share my recipe, but if anybody wants any help with technique or presentation, I'll be happy to help you. Just let me know.
For a charge.
Probably. And so I commented on there after reading the comments. I said, okay, so you won't share your recipe. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But you've offered for helping with technique, and you've got all kinds of people asking, how do you get your peppers to stay so evenly distributed? And can you help me with that? I said, you need to follow through on that, be a man of your word, and at least help with what people. Yeah, Mama gets a little cranky sometimes.
Oh, gosh.
Sometimes my Tawanda comes out.
Tawanda fried
potatoes. So I gave him a little bit of,
yeah.
I don't get it. I would never. What do you think, Anne? What are your thoughts on this? So I'll shut up talking.
Well, no, I think that's crazy. And I mean, that's not unique. There are people that won't share their recipes. Or we had a cook at I used to help manage a restaurant, and she fixed the best macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese with goat cheese and sour cream. And oh, it was delicious. And she was going to be leaving. And we asked for the recipe, of course, and she wrote down a number of items and left out several. So it never tasted the same. She did it on purpose. Isn't that crazy? And so, I mean, I don't understand that mindset.
I mean, I can understand if you've got something truly unique and you want to pass it on to your family or something, but I don't understand joining these social groups.
Right. Not on social
and then
media.
being like, no, I don't share my recipes.
Yeah, no, just go away.
I give out hot peppers on Uber rides. I tell them they are hot. So once in a while, the 21-year-olds try the Reapers. Makes a car ride very fun, says Joe from Guard State Garden. I always make sure a bag is handy and tissues. Casey makes a good point. Casey makes a very good point. Maybe it's not even his recipe.
Oh, that is very possible. Very possible.
The helping tech might be giving away a wrong way to do it. That's true. But he's offering to share the tech. He's offering to help share his techniques. He just won't share the recipe.
Yeah, well, how are you going to use his techniques if you don't have his recipe?
Well, I would assume since he said that you could use any recipe, because people were saying, I've got the ball canning jar recipe for hot pepper jelly, but my peppers always rise to the top, and I just want to know how to keep them evenly distributed. So now you've got people guessing, and are they taking their jars and rolling them or inverting them as it's setting and possibly jeopardizing the seal? I mean, why not just share it so you don't have people messing up their stuff?
Yeah, that's true.
The only thing you won't give out, Boots and Bounty, is your grandmother's barbecue sauce recipe. But see, this is the thing. If you made the recipe and then posted it in a canning club, look what I did. This is the best barbecue sauce ever. And then people say, I'd love to have the recipe. Nope, not going to do it. I just wanted to show you how wonderful I am, but you can have it. Which I know you don't do.
When you were talking about canning groups, is that on Facebook or YouTube?
On Facebook.
Okay.
I belong to several of them.
I was going to maybe try to join some of those because I'm so new to canning, but maybe not. I don't know.
Now, see, and it's that way in the soaping community too. People will post a beautiful soap, and there will be other soapers that will say, "Can I have your recipe for that?" No, won't do it because I sell my soap at the farmer's market, and I don't want people to put up a booth and sell the same soap and undercut me. I get that. But the lady who taught me how to make soap, she wasn't that way at all. Right. She taught me how to make soap, and she knew that she had her clientele, and I wasn't going to cut in on her clientele. And I just loved making soap, and I sold some, but not to her people.
Right, sure.
No.
Well, it's kind of like the YouTube world. There's enough people out there for all of us. We're not in competition. We're a team.
And if you got something beautiful, why wouldn't you want to share it? Now, I understand family recipes, and I understand Colonel Sanders.
That's right. That's right.
My husband's family was very involved in Kentucky Fried Chicken, like knew the Colonel, everything. And all of the family worked for KFC for many years. Wow. And my brother-in-law opened his own restaurant, and his recipe was super close. And he was smart. He made a sign in front of his store that said, in red, across the top of the sign, it said Thompson's, which is our surname. And then a large K, a large F, and a large C, and it spelled out the rest of the words, Country Fried Chicken. And he did it in red, but he used a different font. And KFC did come around, and they said, You can't do that. And he says, yes, I can. It's a different font.
Oh my
And they
God.
said, well, we want to see your recipe. Well, no, I won't show you my recipe, but I assure you it's not the Colonel's recipe. But
Oh,
that recipe is under lock and key. And then they said, well, we want to try your coleslaw. And they said, you copied the coleslaw. You can't sell the coleslaw. And he says, no, you use a rough cut cabbage. I use a fine cut cabbage. It's not the same. So he got him on that. And KFC is run by, he knew just enough. KFC is owned by Pepsi. And
oh,
when
I didn't know that.
Coca-Cola got word of this, Coca-Cola jumped over and they set him up with all of his machines, all of the cups for free to get him started because they wanted in on that. He had 3 stores until just life circumstances
Yeah.
took him down. But he made good chicken when I used to eat chicken.
You don't eat chicken?
I don't eat meat at all.
Oh,
I'll eat my chicken eggs, but I don't eat meat.
okay.
I've not eaten meat since 2012, so almost 10 years.
Wow. I'm not sure I could do that.
I'm a vegetarian, and look, I'm wasting away to nothing.
You poor little pitiful thing. Oh my gosh, me too.
And see, I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a ranch. We had animals that we raised for meat. We used to raise squab for a restaurant in San Diego. So, I mean, I grew up in that element.
Right.
But I found as I entered my teens, I would run away from the farm on slaughter day.
Okay.
I just couldn't handle it. But then, I mean, we raised our own pigs when we had our kids and stuff, and they would go off to slaughter. But just one day, just something struck me, and I just thought, I just can't do this anymore. I'll tell you what it was. Hubby had brought home a whole ham. I don't know where he got it, but it was a whole ham, like with the skin and everything. And he just plopped it on the kitchen counter, and I just looked at it and thought, God, that looks like my grandmother's thigh.
Oh, gosh.
It just looks like somebody's thigh.
Oh, no.
So I just can't do it anymore.
So it wasn't a texture or a health thing.
It wasn't a health thing.
It was emotional.
It was an emotional thing. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
So the first month, I just gave up red meat. And then the second month, I gave up pork. And then the third month, I never have really enjoyed fish. There's a story behind that. But
I bet.
I think it was on my second month and I was still allowing myself chicken. And we had stopped at a taco shop in California. And I had a chicken and veggie burrito. And it was so delicious. The vegetables were the show. And I thought, I don't even need the chicken. At this point, the chicken was the filler.
Gotcha.
I thought, I don't need chicken anymore. So I just gave up chicken that day too. So the only time I've had meat in the last 10 years is if somebody inadvertently puts it in something, but I pick up on it very quickly. Or, I mean, if it's an accident, if there's something accident, but I pick up on it very quickly. But it's sad because there are people out there that I know they don't get it, but it's my personal choice.
Sure.
But they'll say, we want to invite you over for dinner. I'm going to make this and I'm going to sneak some meat in it and you won't even know it's there.
Yeah.
It's like, but why? Why would you intentionally invite me to your home to sneak meat into food and then laugh at me while I eat it when you know I don't want to eat it?
Right. Yeah.
Why would you intentionally do that? If I was a recovering drug addict, you wouldn't try to sneak some drugs into my stuff and laugh at me. Or if I had given up drinking,
right,
for whatever reason, you wouldn't slip a little bit of vodka in my drink and then laugh at me as I drank it. I mean, is it going to kill me? No. But if this is my stand for myself, why would you try to undermine it? I don't know why people think it's so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but no, I don't eat meat. But in some of my things, you'll see meat, but it's TVP, which is texturized vegetable protein.
Okay.
I just came upon some really great chicken patties. There's some burgers that are made from veggies that I really enjoy.
My niece is a diehard vegetarian, and
yeah,
so she has tried desperately to convert the rest of the family. That hasn't happened, but
No. And I don't try to convert anybody. They're welcome to anything they want. What I do find is when I go to my family for Thanksgiving, I take my own stuff
okay.
and they've got the big turkey. I mean, but people are eating my stuff. They come over and take, let me try that. Oh, that's good. And then they'll take another. It's like, don't eat all the vegetarian food. You go eat that turkey carcass and leave my stuff alone. There's no last. I don't want to work.
Oh God. Oh.
So, oh, did she say she's gone? Did she say she's gone and I missed her? She just popped up like it was nothing. Gail's in the house. Gail, I showed everybody the tostada bowls that came in. Where's Gail at? She disappeared. She did. Oh, somebody says she must have done the wrong button. Your ex-mother-in-law used to sneak foods in my food by grinding it up. I thought it was mean and creepy. I can see as a grandma or a parent if you wanted to, like, okay, I don't like broccoli. There, I said it. I'm a vegetarian. I don't like broccoli. But if I want to make a good soup, a good hearty winter soup, I'll grind up that broccoli and then I'll put it in the soup. So I know I'm getting the nutrients, but I don't get the texture. It's the texture I don't like. I got a textural thing. Same with cauliflower. I just don't care for it. But I'll put it in there so I can have the nutrient values of it. But for me, it's an ethical thing. And if somebody thinks, ha, 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 I'm going to have you over and I'm just going to put a bunch of ground beef in something and you won't know, I find that to be cruel. Oh, she had a call. She got a call. That's all right. Oh, but you're an adult. Your grandma does it to you as an adult? Then yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have stuff snuck in there like that as an adult. Nutritive values for kids, fine. I mean, like, don't eat your lima beans, but mama's going to grind them up into a soup anyways, and you'll eat them. But as an adult, no. I will tell you, though, I've already said I don't like broccoli and I don't like cauliflower. And Miss Pauletta, who was in here earlier, I don't think she's still here, that recipe she gave me for her relish, she sent me a handwritten recipe for relish, and it had cauliflower in it. It was like, do I have to put the cauliflower in? She goes, you can't hardly taste it. And I'm like, so why put it in if I can't taste it? And I was going to make it without tasting it, but I do understand it has nutritive value. And it was her handwritten recipe that she sent me, and I honored her by doing the recipe as it was written. Hey, Crapshoot, how you doing? Your ex-mother-in-law did it. Oh, your ex-mother-in-law. I don't know why I thought grandma. Your ex-mother-in-law. Oh, my ex. Don't get me started on mother-in-laws. My mom tried to be a good mother-in-law, and in some instances, it just backfired on her. So I tried to learn from her mistakes and not make the same, I shouldn't say mistakes. I tried to learn from her efforts that backfired and make sure I didn't repeat that. It's backfired. Jim's stepmother. It didn't go that well. So I tried to avoid those pitfalls with my daughter-in-laws. It didn't go well. I don't know. You see where patterns skip. So my mother tried. I tried the opposite. It still flopped for me. What is my daughter-in-law going to do when she becomes a mother-in-law? Will she completely flip the script and maybe it will fail for her? Maybe she'll be successful. I don't know. I grew up in a hoarder's house. I was always embarrassed to have friends over. Always would try to clean it. It would never fall through. I don't know what happened, but my mother used to, my mother grew up in the 50s, the 40s and the 50s. And I look at pictures from her in the 50s and early 60s and everything was precise. But then something happened in her life where she just, whatever, I'm not going to clean a house anymore. And it was a hoarder's paradise. And so when I left, it was like, I'm not going to be that way. I've got a friend who grew up in a meticulous home. She's a hoarder now. It's just like you flip the script. I don't know. Just be honest with each other. Know it's okay to disagree. So be yourself always. And that's what I do. I don't I don't argue with people, don't try to bring them over to my own side, but I do ask them to respect my decisions. And if somebody can't respect my decisions and that their main focus becomes making fun of me or poking fun at me or something, then I don't need that. Hairball. Anyways, I have a childhood friend that I am friends with on Facebook, friends with her husband on Facebook. And the other day he sent me this video, and he knows where I stand on things. And this video starts out, week 1, and here's this girl, and she's got 2 little cute little baby ducks. And she videos in sequences of every week updates. Week 1, week 2, week 3. And it's like, oh, they're so cute, and they're growing up. And week 6, she holds up a platter of the duck she just cooked, and she takes a fork and shoves it in her mouth and laughs. Perfectly humorous to some, I'm sure. But why did he send it to me? He knew it would affect me. And I wrote him, I said, really? Why did you have to send that to me? And he just thinks it's the most hysterical thing in the world. And I said, that was really rude. And he still thinks it's hysterical, and he can go. Respect is a two-way street. And yes, both have to give, and I understand your feelings. And see, that's just the thing. I promised to be a good mother-in-law. And here's an instance. My husband's father and stepmother, were so overbearing in our marriage when we first got married. And through our whole marriage, they were very overbearing. I was always made to feel stupid, always put in my place. They were always putting him up on a pedestal, and I was always over here, and it was just a rotten deal. And I always remembered how it made me feel when they didn't treat me as an adult and didn't think I could handle situations, and I hated it. And I remember a specific time when one of my sons had been injured, and we had learned that he'd been injured, and he was at the emergency room. And we were driving we had gone on a vacation. We were driving back home from a vacation when we got the call. And so, of course, we ran to the hospital. And he was still in the waiting room with our daughter-in-law. And he had road rash and stuff all over. And we checked on him. We made sure that it was not life-threatening. And we told him and our daughter-in-law, you two have this handled. I know you'll update us. We're going to leave you be because this is a husband and wife thing now. We're going to go home, but when you guys get home, please just update us and let us know what's going on. We love you, and we left. Nope, we abandoned him. We didn't care about him. And here I was letting them be the adults and be partners and handle the situation without meddling in-laws. And that blew up in my face. So I also remember that my father-in-law would call my husband every single day. And I get that that's a wonderful thing. But it almost seemed planned to be at times where, we just sat down at dinner, or it's like he knew my routine. It was always punitive. Seemed like it was always punitive. My husband would work hard all day, and then he'd spend 3 hours on the phone with his dad that he couldn't get off the phone. And then I got no time with my husband. My kids had no time with their father. I, on the other hand, would call my mother every weekend on a Saturday. Every weekend I would call my mother without fail. Check on my dad, check on my mom, share what's happening with the family. But do you think these kids call? They don't call. They don't call this grandma every week. And I'm shamed for not calling every day. And there are times I didn't call every day because if my son was in the Army, he was out in the field and his phone was with him and it went off, he'd get in trouble. Or if, this person's at work, or if I called when I thought that they were free, they're spending time with their family, with their children, they're all having breakfast. Well, call me when you can. Calls don't come in. I don't get it. So, Gail, do your best to be a good mother-in-law. But even the best of intentions, boy, sometimes they backfire. And I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I know I have. But I don't know if I'll ever recover in that realm of being a good mother-in-law because apparently I've sucked at several things, but I try. I do try, but um, I try to be a good mother-in-law, try to be a good sister-in-law, and I try to be a good grandma. My oldest grandbaby turned 18 this week. That went by in a flash. I'm telling you, that went by so fast. Um, I'll, I'll put the link up again because Anne had to leave. Let's see if anybody else wants to come on over and say hello. I think things get passed down. What is she up to now? And what is she up to now? I can't remember your name. Ooh, the UPS man is coming. Your oldest grandbaby is 21. My oldest grandbaby just turned 18. And like I said, it went in a heartbeat. And my youngest is 5. Okay. Is the UPS man bringing me goodies? Nope, he's just going to fly on by. So I've tried to learn different things. I mean, I watched my mother-in-law I watched my mother try so hard with her first daughter-in-law, and it just was never enough. So I kind of flipped the script and tried it different, and that didn't work either. I guess it's like in all things in life. You're making hubby's lunch, Gail. That's okay. Oh, Gail. My goodness. I'm going to do a whole separate video, Gail, just on what came in the mail from coupons. Look at that. Look at that monstrosity. And that's not even all of it. I couldn't pick up the whole pile. But I've already decided anything that comes with the coupons, that comes with a recipe, I'm going to make the recipe. And King's Hawaiian Rolls sent me a recipe, so I'm going to try it. Gail's girls are in high school right now. Oh, look, here's my neighbor that I've never met. What is she up to? Woo! Isn't she
Hi.
beautiful?
I don't show myself because when I do my videos, I stay focused on what the subject is. So I
Yeah.
don't distract any.
Okay. Well,
But
welcome.
yes, I am your neighbor. You're like in the central part of the state, and I'm
Yeah.
over on the eastern side, northeast corner.
Oh, you're
So
in the
we're
north.
we're both above Highway 20.
We're both above Highway 20. You're closer, much closer to Illinois. You're over where, probably close to where little Carrie Ingalls was born when the Ingalls lived over in the northeast part of the state. Did
Bro,
everybody know
yeah,
that?
it's right outside of Decorah.
Okay. Where the Eagles are.
Yeah, well, we got eagles all over around Iowa.
We do too, but I know that in Decorah they have a cam where you can watch the eagles.
Yeah.
We have eagles. We have eagles that light on one of our trees over here on our farm. And every time I want to get a video or something of them, it's like they know before I can get them. But they light in this one specific tree, and I don't know what they did. They either ate something that had eaten some wild black raspberries, or they ate some themselves, which since they're scavenger, I don't know that they would do that. But they must have let loose of something up in those trees because all of a sudden we have a huge wild black raspberry bramble back there that was never there before. Never. So we collected. So it had to have been there at least 2 years now, and we just didn't notice it then. But I've done a lot of work back there before, and it was not there before. But it's 10 feet deep and 40 foot long now.
Yeah, and it's a good source of getting those berries too for free.
I'm getting them for free, but I'm thanking those wild or those beautiful bald eagles for dropping some seeds back there. Hey,
I
casual white guy.
I had a golden eagle go through my yard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we have bald eagles around here too. But man, was that bird big, and it flew low like it was going right across the water.
Uh-huh.
Only it was the yard,
Right over
the
the
grass.
yard,
Yeah,
which is, thank goodness you didn't have any little animals out there.
I was the only one out there. We don't, I mean, he could have went for a squirrel, rabbit, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
cat, a small dog, whatever. But no, he wasn't, that wasn't what he was out to do. He was just out to, he was saying hi to me,
I
you
think it's
know.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I love watching them. Anytime I'm out and about, if I see them, I'll just pull the car over and I'll watch them for a while. I love watching them. I love it when they light in the tree right here, as long as they don't fly over and mess with my chickens, which I don't think they will. But you never know. But I've never lost
right.
one as far
It
as I know.
depends on
I
how
don't think
hard,
they can swoop down. It would be too much of a. There's not enough room.
it depends on how hungry they are. You know, if they can keep getting food and stuff on their own,
Mm-hmm.
that makes a big one too. Um, I was gonna tell you that you do a lot with your tomatoes, and so does Anne. Um, this year for space, storage space,
Mm-hmm.
I'm shredding all of our stuff and dehydrating it, and some of it I'm gonna be slicing and dehydrating it that way. But the shredded stuff I'm making into powder, so it takes
Yes.
up less room to store.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can still make whatever I want with it, you
Right.
know.
Now, do you do that with your waste and your skins? Do you include those in your dehydrating
Oh
for
yeah,
powder?
yeah.
Yeah. When I make my sauce and I put it
The
through the
seeds
mill.
I because my food's non-GMO, I take and I save some of the seeds for next year's growing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, that way you don't have to buy them either.
Right.
I didn't
Exactly.
mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine. I was gonna say when I put the tomatoes through to make my sauce, and I put them through the mill, and I get the stuff that comes out the other side, all of the thicker pulp and the seeds and the skin. I put that out in my dehydrator, and I make my own powder. I
Yeah,
think it's awesome.
yeah.
I didn't
Um,
do as much dehydrating this year as I did last year.
the the trick to dehydrating it to make powder is you dehydrate it as long as you can. When you can pick it up in your hand and it crumbles, then you can put it in your blender or whatever to
Right.
make the powder with it. And that's where a lot of people make the mistake. They get the food dehydrator with the buttons and the knobs so they can set it, but they don't leave it in the dehydrator long enough.
Right. If it's
They
still
take it out
bendable,
way too
you're gonna get
soon.
moisture.
Yeah, if you can feel it, and it's sticking to your fingers, that why it, um what it's sticking to the trays and your fingers over is because that's the natural sugar in what you're dehydrating.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes longer for that to dry than the rest of it, and you're getting the water out of it while you're dehydrating, but
Right.
it don't cook the food.
I
You
went
know.
to an Amish store last year and they had big, huge bags of pineapple chunks.
Oh,
And but they were at the past due date, which I know it's just a recommendation for the past due. But I had
right.
so much of it, and I thought, even if I open it, what am I? I mean, they were huge, huge bags of pineapple, like industrial restaurant style size. And I thought, what am I going to do with all those pineapple if I want to open it up and enjoy it for something? So I just dehydrated it all. I made
Well,
some other things, but I dehydrated the most of it.
right. Not only that, you can dehydrate it, and you can also put it in other jars.
Hmm.
Smaller amounts of it.
Right, and then I took the syrup and I did ginger pineapple syrup, simple syrup out of the syrup that was in the bag.
Yeah.
And so I tried to use every part of it, but it was such a great deal, I couldn't pass it up. So Old Sweets will be back. Daz enjoys dehydrating. Yeah, Boots and Bounty, she says her dad says expiration dates are for woozies.
Well, no, the
Whoopsies
reason
and
they
daisies.
the reason they put the expiration dates on there is so people throw out whatever
And
and
by
then
more,
go to the store and buy new
right? It's
because
just a guideline. I try to do the first in first out program here at the house, and I'll put the I'll use up the older stuff first, but it's very rare that I will dispose of something um, just because of a date. And it
Right.
won't be because it has to be like if the can's dented and I don't think it's safe or something.
Right. But you move your stuff forward as you use it. And you
Right.
put the new one back.
Right. Exactly. That's what we do. I'll tell you, I I have a pretty big pantry behind me here and I keep it very well stocked, and it's not a prepper thing, but it is.
Right.
Um, it's we have to out here where we live because if we get blizzards, we won't see another human being for, 8, 10, 12 days.
Right.
There's no going to the store.
No, I know
So,
what you mean in there.
yeah, you know. So I keep things pretty packed back there. And one thing I do like to keep is just little diced potatoes in a can. And we have about 20 miles from us is a large Hy-Vee. And Hy-Vee's vegetable selection has gone from an entire half of a row of an aisle of vegetables to about 8 feet. And you can only, and they used to have all kinds of selections of vegetables for canned things,
Yep.
and hardly anything there now. They only had like whole potatoes canned, no diced, nothing. So I went to another store yesterday and I saw some. I grabbed a dozen and threw them in my pantry.
I took 2 pounds of carrots, two-pound bags of carrots, dehydrated them down, ground them up, and it made a pint of
Mm-hmm.
carrots. But
Mm-hmm.
that's okay because I can take and I can still use it for whatever I want to use it
Right.
for.
I love getting just little chips of the carrots, dehydrating them, and then I put them in stews. This week I'm going to be cooking up one of my meals in a jar that has some dehydrated carrots in it, and I love making meals in a jar. Do you do that too?
I haven't gotten all my garden done.
Not everything. I should reiterate that, or I should restate that. That my meals in a jar aren't everything from my garden. I do
Well,
I do get supplement freeze dried or dehydrated foodstuffs that are shelf stable for 20 years.
the
And
reason,
then I'll open it and I'll make all of my jars, which are shelf stable for, 10 years.
right, but the reason I'm not done with my garden is we grew everything from seed.
Hmm.
So now the seeds are the plants are starting to produce really good, you know.
So
So
you're just
that's
getting
why.
into your harvest season. I, my cucumbers started from seed this year, and I've never seen so many cucumbers from 4 little plants in my life. I'm about done with them.
You can dehydrate those too.
I dehydrated some last year with a really nice homemade ranch seasoning powder on them, so they would be like pickle chips.
Hmm.
But nobody really cared for them here. They said they'd rather have it used otherwise. Um, so I'll just go with what I know they'll eat. I
Right,
do. I don't know that I would. I guess I could. I don't know what else I would dehydrate them for other than to make little chips to eat, and they didn't like them.
right.
Oh, I think that's just some of them are spoiled that, hubby would rather have some tortilla chips with my homemade salsa or, just store-bought chips with some sour cream or something.
Well, I hear you there. We got a tortilla press, so
Yes.
when you can't buy them at the store anymore, we can make our own.
Yeah, we have 2 tortilla presses and maza and plenty of flour, and it's all been I store everything in 5-gallon buckets with the gamma lids, so they've all been properly handled and put up for storage, and they're put away. Bye, Ann.
Well, bye,
Bushy
Ann.
Brownie says that she's got a video coming out with it in it, and I missed what it is. Enchilada sauce. What does she say she's putting in her enchilada sauce?
Tomatoes.
Did she say
I don't have
tomatoes?
a clue.
I don't know.
Yep, I got a video coming out with it in it.
She'll comment in here. Oh, she wants a press. We've got the 2 presses because Papa Jim wants to make some tortillas, so we've got everything out there. I've got all my dried chilies to make some homemade enchilada sauce. I have a list. I have such a list of videos I want to make, but not enough time in the day, and some days just not enough energy. Um, but I've got everything to do it. So I think when I'm getting snowed in here or something during the winter, I'll be doing more of those videos of stuff that's stable right now, and then I can convert it later. Is Daz
Well,
leaving? Oh no, Daz isn't
if
leaving.
if we do like videos or whatever in the wintertime, it keeps you from getting cabin fever too.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't get cabin fever that often anymore. I used to when the kids were little and I would be holed up in the house with them for a long time, or I'm a very, very, very social individual. Since moving out onto the farm, um, I've kind of been rewired to really enjoy the solitude. And then you're kind of new to my story. So in 2015, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So that really kept me closed in for a while, and that's okay. But I will admit that after like a week or two, if I've not gone off the farm for a week or two, and hubby says, let's go into town, I'm like a dog hanging out the window, panting, lips flapping because I'm so excited to get out and see something. But
Believe believe it or not, I live in a little village. I have to go to a bigger town to get groceries, right?
mhm.
And I still only go to town once a month to get supplies.
I think I would only go once a month to get supplies if it weren't for the fact that I do have to run in. I go in once a week and to check mail because I got a PO box now, but to get my chicken feed. I just go in and I get chicken
Right.
feed, the things that I need for the animals. But otherwise, I'm pretty set here. And if I need something, I'll just tell my hubby when he gets off of work, stop into the little fairway there and grab this or that for me. But
Right.
otherwise, I don't need to go anywhere. This weekend, our town's having a, fall shopping extravaganza with all the little shops. I'm in one of those little towns. Um,
Is it
uh,
when they do their crazy days?
yeah, sort of, you know,
Yeah,
and
sidewalk
there's the
sales.
shops and yeah, the sidewalk sales and everything. I said, I don't need to go. I'll just stay here.
I like doing those, that way because you're like, yeah, sidewalk full. You can just see the stores with their merchandise out there, and you're sitting at home doing whatever or enjoying yourself, taking a break from whatever, going, honey, I just saved you a bunch of money. Aren't you happy?
My hubby's like, when are you going to make something more to sell so you can make some money? He denies me nothing. He denies me nothing. So what Casey was talking about earlier was her bulk canning book saying to use canned items for a recipe to can. So it may have been saying something. I think she said enchilada sauce. So I think she might be talking that they might be saying to use canned tomato something to make your sauce.
Well, hold on. I can find out real fast for you.
Yeah, she did. So Wickedly Awesome says that they enjoyed my pickle video. Hello, Wickedly Awesome. Welcome to the channel. And Anne
Let's
had to
see.
go. I shared it out to a bunch of places green the other day.
Well, I'm looking.
Oh, they canceled
Apparently,
all of your fall activities, Casey? No, Casey did say it was about her comment where she said she was upset. And that's because the ball canning was saying to use canned goods to make their recipes. She's saying it tripped her out.
I've never had that. Let me see here. Because I've got a ball
And now she's on to car
cookbook.
insurance.
And I'm just opening up and looking at different recipes. The recipes in this one, it's just the regular, like, open up mom and grandma's cookbook.
Mm.
And it's the all new book of canning and preserving. So maybe it was a different cookbook that
Oh
she's.
yeah, they make so many different, revises and revisions and all that stuff. I was happy that the other day when my granddaughter was here and we were processing those 2 lugs of peaches that we got, which I still have to edit that video and get it up. she took home all of the peaches that she processed to put in her freezer, and then I was able to give her a handwritten recipe for Casey's cobbler recipe that she shared with me. So it's handwritten, it's on a cute little recipe card, and she took it home. And I told her parents, I said, now have her make some cobblers for you using this recipe, and then save the recipe for her, because long after I'm gone, I want her to have a handwritten recipe from her grandma. So I was happy to do that, and that was a really fun day. Okay, so Boots and Bounty says they wanted you to use canned diced tomatoes from the store to make your own enchilada sauce. But maybe there are those people out there that are
Well,
urban homesteaders that
I
maybe
was
they
gonna
don't have
say,
tomatoes. So
um, if that's the only way that somebody could get their
right, if that's the only
ingredients,
way they can get their
then
ingredients, then
a
do it.
cookbook like that, or yeah, a cookbook like that is a good cookbook for them to have out there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because not everybody gets to grow a garden.
Right.
They don't even have room for pails to grow
Right.
stuff.
Right. So we'll give them the credit for at least trying to make enchilada sauce if they've got that book too, and they can make it in their apartment or something.
Right.
It's for a new generation.
I mean,
It's funny. I mean, there are things that I know that there are things that the generation before us would trip out on, and then we're tripping out on what the new generation is going to be doing for their food preserving. And I got to be thankful they're at least going to try, right?
I have a cookbook from 1953.
Awesome.
And it teaches, and I ain't kidding you, the ones from the same cookbook from 1970s don't have it, but it teaches you how to cook brains,
Mm-hmm.
because they were still eating them, and you can still eat them. People still eat them to this day, but
I
you
can
don't find
remember.
the
I can
find
remember
the
seeing all the brains left in the wash shed for the head cheese on
yeah,
slaughtering day on the farm we grew up on. But I won't
yep,
eat it. I'm not going to eat it.
yeah.
There's
It's
enough
like
stuff out there for me that I don't need to eat the brains. Thank you very much. And I don't need to eat the sweetbreads either, or the Rocky Mountain oysters. So I don't need all that. I've got
well,
some people.
when you did you prefer the beef or the pigs?
No, I
Because
never did.
yeah, a lot of people, they don't understand what those are.
No, I never did. No, I have no need for that in my life.
Well, back in the day, back when our grandmas, we're, and I know I'm older than you are, but back when our grandmas were young and they had their families, they didn't waste nothing. I got a
Right.
cough. Anyhow, you can cook and eat everything to a pig except for the squeal. And then you save the hide, and you tan the hide, and you can make real thick leather soles and stuff for your shoes.
Mm. Yeah, I know they didn't waste anything. I remember, gosh, Little House on the Prairie, Laura talking about on slaughter days, they would blow up the bladder and make it a balloon for the girls to play with. I mean, everything had a purpose one way or another. But I'm not to that
Right.
stage.
They, I mean, it sounds crazy, but yeah. And then
Yeah,
they
it is
use
horrible.
the intestines, or the tendons. They use the tendons to make the sinew. And
Mm-hmm.
um the intestines, they use that for making your sausages and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep,
know,
that was the
and
casing.
yeah, a lot of people don't realize it, but they still use
Mm-hmm.
them to this day.
Oh, yes, they do.
And they'll use goat casings too for it.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
No, I pray that we never get back to having to be that resourceful, but they're good things to know. I know that every once in a while, my brother, who is a realist, will show up and he'll say, one of these days things might get so bad you might have to eat those chickens that you love so much.
Oh yeah.
But it's not today, brother. It's not today. So leave my chickens alone, and don't sit here and try to psychologically freak me out about the thought of eating my chickens, because I love them.
Well,
I've got my chickens and my turkeys and my guineas, and we've got one little pot belly pig left and one little donkey. The first year that we moved here to the ranch, we rescued 57 animals.
oh wow.
And now we're just down to the poultry, one pig and a donkey, and of course our little doggies and stuff. But this used to be really thriving with, and he'd always say, you might have to eat those goats one day. I want to know about my goats. Don't want to eat them. Stop it. But he's a realist. And, then I've got my other son who's like, yeah, things get bad. I know how to, this is my son that lives in a suburban area in California. He's like, I know how to fix up a squirrel if I have to.
Exactly.
So they're
Rabbits.
prepared.
Yeah.
They're prepared for those times if we need them, but I'm glad that at the moment we don't. But anyways, so
Well,
we're down to 4 and we're down to 2 hours and 15 minutes on this little live. And if I'm going to salvage this little bit of curl I have left and wearing my apron and making a video, I should start wrapping things up. But I
okay.
don't know if you're comfortable with it, but do you mind sharing your first name so I can try to remember it instead of saying what is she up to?
JT.
KT.
JT.
JT.
Yep.
JT. Well, that's my husband's initials. I'll do my best to remember that, but don't plan on it. It'll take me a few times.
I
So,
put it in private chat for you.
oh, okay. Well, I
You
won't
know.
divulge anything. JT is fine.
No, that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on here I don't have private chat open. Oh, I see now that you did put something there. Okay.
You really
Um,
want to know what the J stands for?
if you're willing to share.
But don't tell anybody, but
Oh,
that's
you
my
put it in
legal
private.
that's
Understood.
legal.
Oh, is it legal, really?
Yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
But everybody just calls me JT.
Gotcha. Now I don't know how to get back to the regular chat. Oh, there they are. I
Push
got it.
comments up at the top.
Got
It'll
it.
go over.
Boots and Bounty. She had gone off for a phone call. Casey with Boots and Bounty. I'm just going to private message you the information on that gift, the $10 off that you won last week. Instead of sending that to you in the mail, I just haven't gotten to it. Things have been kind of strange here lately. So I'll wrap up. I'm going to wrap up our little live today by sharing with you guys that it's probably been 2 weeks ago, maybe. I asked all of you to keep my friend in your thoughts and prayers because it's my friend who has a family of 4, it's herself, her husband, and 2 daughters. One daughter has Down syndrome. 3 out of the 4 ended up in the hospital with COVID.
Oh
And so I
no.
had asked for some prayers, and mom was asymptomatic, which allowed her to stay with the daughter since the daughter didn't fully understand what was happening. So that was good. The daughter was borderline having to go up to ICU for quite some time. But she recovered well and she's home now. And then shortly after she was able to take the daughter home, dad passed away.
Oh no.
Dad passed away. So now my friend is, 2 daughters, one with Down syndrome, and dad pretty much handled all of their affairs, and he has since passed away. So
That's
that
why I
was
always tell everybody it's important for the wives to know how to do things right like their husband does.
right,
And if the wife's the one that does all the paying the bills and that, the husband needs to know
right.
because several years ago I lost my husband too.
I'm sorry to
You
hear
know,
that.
and people back in the day, the wives worked right beside the husband
Mm-hmm.
on the farms and that because then when the husband went to town to get supplies, mom could keep the farm going and keep the house going and keep the kids going. And
Right,
then if something happened and dad got killed in an accident or came down sick or just decided to leave the family, they were still able to function and live.
Right, right. Now I know how to do some things around here, but I do admit I rely on my husband quite a bit. And it's not I was learning a lot when we first moved on to this farm. And then I got sick, so a lot of it fell back on him and I haven't picked a lot of it back up. But my son has moved just around the corner. And so if I need something, I know I can call on him. Um, but having said that, I will now say that Jim didn't feel good this weekend. I didn't feel good this weekend. Haven't really been exposed. I just think we're just having a lazy weekend. And he made the mistake of going with my son to a Chinese buffet and ate too much and got sick. I think he's got food poisoning. So Jim's
Oh
been sick this
no.
last week with food poisoning, but he came home last night. I guess last Thursday, he went on a test drive with another mechanic from where he works. They had to diagnose a car. And he came home yesterday and said that mechanic has COVID.
Oh,
So
holy cows.
he was in close proximity. And so I'm starting to put things in place in case we have to make some arrangements here. So we had a discussion last night about, if one of us comes down sick, we'll make sure the guest room is ready. We can leave meals at the top of the stairs, yada,
Right.
yada, yada. And before I even knew this, just because he wasn't feeling well, I did go to the store and I used my HSA card to get some things that I felt we would need here. I got some Pedialyte and some acetaminophen and just things I thought we would need here just in case. But we're just going to dandelion root tea for what, Casey? Oh, both of your parents have it right now and they're doing good so far. That is wonderful. Oh, Boots and Bagley sent a package. No, I haven't. I haven't got a package. I checked the mail yesterday, so no package. I'm thinking he got food poisoning and that's why he wasn't. Oh, your parents have food poisoning. I'm thinking that's what my husband had this weekend was food poisoning and he wasn't feeling well. So we're just going to go with that. And we're going to hope that he wasn't terribly exposed to this man who is sick now. But I'm putting my things in place. I'd rather be prepared and have it in place so he has a place to rest carefully and recuperate and I can get food to him and all that other stuff. So you're saying, Casey, dandelion root tea for food poisoning. Gotcha. So so just hang in there with us. We'll see if we're back next week or if I've got the cough.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll keep you in our prayers and I'll keep your
Thank
friend
you.
in our
Thank
prayers.
you. I don't like the gloom and doom and bringing it on myself, but I
Now, let's go back to your camping adventures. That was
go back
some
to something.
knee slapping time there, I'll tell you.
That was quite the story. Like I said, I've written about it and I'll put it in the comments when we're all done with this, the link to that story. We've got we do have some knee slappers, raising 4 boys and doing fun things and all the stuff. Onion and honey cough syrup, recipe for the cough. I have a honey and lemon, organic honey and organic lemon mixture in the fridge right now. I can either eat by the spoonful or make a tea. My concern is because I'm only working off of about 1 3/4 lungs and I have asthma. So, and I tend to get an asthmatic bronchitis once or twice a year. And since chemo, I've had pneumonia 3 times. So I'm a little prone.
Yeah.
But I've not had pneumonia now for 21 months. So that's positive. And I think a lot of it is me just staying home.
Right.
Just staying home. That's why I don't go in very often. And I think, like we were talking about earlier with Anne, looking at the positives out of the negatives. I am an extremely social person, like I said before. And that little bit of time coming out here to the farm and just kind of distancing myself helped a little bit. But having the cancer and being on chemo and being as isolated as I was for as long as I was, it really set me up for not taking it so hard these past 18, 19 months. It's a piece of cake. Where other people just can't seem to handle it.
You have to keep your hope. You gotta you have hope. You lose that, we're all done in for.
No,
You know,
I'm a positive person. That's why I said I don't even like really talking about it, but I
right,
do like to be prepared. I think there's a difference. My son always says there's a difference between panic and preparedness.
right. But I mean, your mentality. You know, if you give up hope,
Oh
no
yeah.
matter what, then we're done for.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so we
You know,
got to
if I
keep
relate it,
positive. We got to keep hope because we'll
absolutely.
make it through whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
I relate it back to the time when I was in treatment and all the stuff with cancer. I mean, I didn't allow the gloom and doom to hit me from minute one. I was like, what do we do? This is what we're going to do. And I had a sense of humor through the whole thing.
yep,
I mean, my Lord, I got up in front of everybody in the cancer center and pole danced with my Ivy pole. I mean,
right.
have to have fun.
You got to have fun. You know,
Yeah,
you can't.
if I were to take that gloom and doom attitude, it probably would have consumed me and I would have a very different outcome. So, and so we're just taking it forward with every new challenge.
Right.
So thank you, Casey. I appreciate that. Um, but on that note, yes, let's just all pray for all of us, each and every one, and that we all remain safe and healthy. And if we do have challenges ahead, that we're going to be able to rise above. And I will this week be filming some more videos. I don't know when I'll get them edited and up, but I love the premieres. I think I'm just gonna do all of them as premieres. It doesn't matter whether anybody watches or not, but on the off chance that somebody pipes in and you can chit chat a little bit while the video is playing, I think is kind of fun. And I'll be doing all that fun stuff. And this week I'm going to write down my ideas about what to talk about. And my husband's going to come home tonight and he's going to sit in his chair and he's going to look up YouTube because he turns it on every night. And he's going to say, "You talked for 2 hours today?" And I'm going to say, "No, I didn't." He's going to say, "YouTube says right there, you talked for 2 hours." I'm going to say,
You
"No,
did not.
I
You
did
did
not.
not.
I
Mm-mm.
talked for almost 2.5."
And not only that, you were talking to your neighbor in the same
That's right.
state, so it's not a long
That's right.
distance call.
That's right. And we've got I've got two neighbors now. And that's why when I was talking to you the other day, I said, you're down south, right? By Des Moines. And you said, no, you were north.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
another.
northeast corner.
Yeah, there's so I've got two Iowa neighbors. Oh, I got three in here. Got three of them.
Well,
So I
how
love
many
you
are
guys.
from Iowa?
Huh?
How many of us are from Iowa?
Three that I know of. Four. Four. Four that I
I
know
know
of.
you and me. I don't have a clue
There's
on the rest of them.
Homestead Love, who's out by Waterloo area. And
Okay,
then
she's in between you and me.
there's another that I cannot recall the name at the moment, and she's down south of the 80. So
Wow, she's way down southern part of Iowa.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I
So
know where 80's at too.
yeah. So, but it's
Well,
good. One of these days we'll have to have an Iowa meetup flying
I
over the state.
don't have a
Whitney's up in
car, so I don't
Boston.
get to drive any place. I don't have a car, so
Oh well,
you know. But
here is perfectly fine.
right,
Perfectly fine.
it's been nice to be on here with you. I've had fun. I'm glad we finally got to visit
Yeah, I think
without
this is a nice
typing.
little option.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And our friend Daz wants us to know he's south of the 80 as well.
Oh yes, we know. He's from down under.
He's way down under from the 80.
He
Daz,
he's
real
get
quick before I give up, how are things going down there for you guys? I know spring is here. Everything else going okay?
yeah, but it's nighttime there for him.
Mm-hmm. He's my night owl friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Daz, you can private chat me later, just checking in on you, making sure everything's good. I love the Nutella ice cream. I have all of the ingredients needed. I might be doing that. And everybody stay tuned because sometime here in September, I'm going to be making a video late September, early October for a really fun Halloween treat. They are to die for. So I will be making
Ooh.
those as well. So with that, I'm gonna stretch this. Oh God, another bird hit the window. I don't know why they do that. It makes me jump right out of my
It's
pants.
because they don't see the glass and
Oh,
they see another bird,
yeah.
so they think they're
Well,
gonna
I've
fly
got
through.
tons of little ones out there right now and they're just right into it. Okay, so uh 33 more seconds so I can officially
I
hit the
will.
2:30 moment mark there.
You want 33 more seconds, huh?
Yeah, why not? So we
Oh,
can make
okay.
it a complete 2 hours and 30 minutes instead of just a skosh under. We
Oh,
might even be
okay.
just a skosh over. Yeah, I've got little issues with them always hitting this one little window that we've got here. But sometimes it'll happen when my son's here and he'll go out and he'll pick them up and he pets them and he sets them somewhere and they sit in his hand for a while and then they fly off. All is good.
Awesome.
All
You've
is
made
good.
your 2:30.
I did. All right,
So I
guys.
will talk with you later. Thank you for having
Okay.
me on.
Thanks for
Bye.
joining us. Okay, bye. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up for this week. I'm going to continue to work on my little project here for when I hit 500 subscribers. And I'm gonna caveat that with saying if it turns out to be something really nice, I will be creating a pattern and putting it on Etsy. See, now I'm gonna be like that guy. I won't share my recipe, but I'll sell it to you. So I could put it on Etsy. I have one pattern on Etsy, but I've only sold 4 patterns. But this one there might be a niche for. So bye, guys. Love you very much. I appreciate your friendship. Casey, I will be writing you and getting that information to you. Daz, thank you so much for doing your moderation stuff there. I appreciate it as a moderator. We did have the one guy who said he was wild, but he never chimed in anymore. So I don't know what he was about. But at least this time it wasn't a porn star like my first live. So, all right, guys. Love you much, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.